I'd like to talk to you about my PhD through the story of Chicken Little. When Chicken Little was hit on the head by an acorn, he thought that the sky was falling. Fear took over and he ran to spread panic. But what if he had stopped, looked around, looked closer, and realised what fell wasn't the sky, but an opportunity? In cancer research, we often feel like the sky is falling, especially when funding is limited and new treatments take years to test. But what if something as small as an egg could change this? Multiple myeloma is a type of blood cancer, and it starts in the bone marrow, the spongy part of the bone. Bone marrow is like a factory where many different types of cells are made, including special cells called plasma cells. Normally, plasma cells help our body fight infection, but in multiple myeloma, these plasma cells grow out of control. So if you think of bone marrow like a flower bed, there's many different types of flowers or cells. But in multiple myeloma, the weeds outgrow the healthy flowers. So it means that flowers like roses or red blood cells or lilies like white blood cells can't grow and function. This leads to weak bones, anemia, bone pain and fatigue, and an overall weaker immune system for the patient. Being diagnosed with multiple myeloma or any cancer is overwhelming, terrifying. It feels like the sky is falling. But the truth is, for many multiple myeloma patients, the sky may fall again. And each time that it does, as most patients will experience relapse, treatment options become fewer and fewer. Some patients don't respond to available therapies and some can't tolerate them. It's like Chicken Little's worst nightmare. The sky keeps falling again and again. So as researchers, what can we do? Well, of course, we can try and develop new treatment options for multiple myeloma patients. But our biggest roadblock is, how do we make sure that it works in a time-efficient and cost-effective way? Drug testing in mice is one of the ways that researchers can do this, but it's very expensive and time-consuming. Chicken Little saw disaster and ran, but we're not running, we're investigating. And what we have found is that part of the solution might be hidden inside of an egg. So just beneath the shell of a fertilised egg, not the kind that you buy in Tesco, lies something truly amazing, a kind of cozy blanket called the chorioallantoic membrane, or CAM for short. And yes, Chicken Little, it is a comfortable blanket, because it's this blanket that's full of blood vessels that nourish the embryo and help it grow. But how can this comfortable blanket be used in research? Well, we can grow multiple myeloma tumours on top of this comfortable blanket and study how they behave and how they respond to treatment. Where do the cells go? In real time. For years, scientists have used the CAM to study other types of cancers, but not multiple myeloma until now. Results are generated in a matter of 3 weeks, instead of waiting months, which can be the case in other traditional models. Chicken Little saw something small, a falling acorn, and thought it meant disaster. But we see something small, like an egg, and see its potential to change how we test therapeutics for multiple myeloma in the future. I've spoken to you about real-time results, so let me give you an example of that. Here we see an image of a patient's bone marrow at diagnosis. The brown staining is the bad plasma cells. And then to the right of that, you see the same patient's bone marrow after complete treatment with much less of that brown staining. So now in this panel below, I hope you can see how similar these images are. Because this is a tumour that I grew on the comfortable blanket using bad plasma cells that we grew in the lab. Before, on the left, and after, on the right, it had been treated. They're almost mirror images of each other, and it shows the power of this same treatment used in a patient and in an egg. So right now, new drug development is like waiting for a storm to pass. It's slow, expensive, and unpredictable. Other models can take months and cost a fortune, while rare cancers like multiple myeloma struggle to get funding. But with the CAM, we're tipping the scales. This means that because it's affordable, we can test more. And for perspective, for one mouse, I can test on over 100 eggs. Because it takes a considerable less amount of time, we slash the time it takes before treatments are tested in patients without breaking the bank. And it's ethical, as we're reducing our reliance on mice. So what's the real lesson of Chicken Little? Fear can make us panic, but curiosity can lead to discovery. We could have ignored the CAM model as being too small and too simple. Instead, we see its potential. Today, instead of fearing that the sky is falling, we're embracing what's falling from it, an opportunity, all wrapped inside of an eggshell. And this isn't just about science, it's about hope. Hope for patients who feel like they've run out of options. With the CAM model, we can change how we test multiple myeloma therapeutics, and we're only getting started.